Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. Thanks so much for listening. Today, the debate about a classified memo and why FEMA had Puerto Rico panicked. Plus, homeownership rates go up, Alexa loses her voice, and Super Mario goes to the big screen. All that and much more in less than 10 minutes. And hang out today after the news for 3 Question Thursday. We're talking about money, how we talk about it differently than we used to, and how to make more of it. I'm Erica Mandy. Today is Thursday, February 1st. You ready? Let's do this. The debate is getting heated about whether or not the government should release a classified memo that has to do with the Russia investigation. The Wall Street Journal reports the FBI director is now publicly telling the White House, please don't release it. The FBI and Democrats say the memo doesn't have all the facts and is misleading. But President Trump has indicated he wants to let the public see it. And at this point, it's ultimately up to him. This whole issue has been mostly split among party lines. Remember, Republicans in the House Intelligence Committee voted to release the memo on Monday. They say it shows there's been an abuse of power, specifically how the government used surveillance on the Trump campaign. Stay tuned. The CDC Director is out. We're talking about the top job at the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Dr. Brenda Fitzgerald just resigned. Why? Well, it happened after a report came out that she bought stock in a tobacco company just 1 month after getting the CDC gig. And remember, the CDC is a place all about health. They're supposed to get smoking rates to go down in the U.S. So yeah, bit of a conflict of interest. The former director, though, said he believes she actually didn't know about her tobacco stock holdings. An Amtrak train that was taking a bunch of Republican lawmakers to their annual policy retreat crashed. The New York Times reports the train hit a large truck in Virginia yesterday. At least one person died in the truck, but the lawmakers on the train are apparently okay. A couple of them were taken to the hospital with some minor injuries. Puerto Rico is still trying to recover after Hurricane Maria, and the island got a bit worried when FEMA said no more food and water shipments. It caused a bunch of confusion, but now FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the one that helps out after a disaster, says it's not actually up and leaving the island. It just thinks it has enough supplies on the island that it will stop new shipments from arriving. CNN reports the agency says it has 46 million liters of water and 4 million meals and snacks stockpiled on the island. But not everyone in Puerto Rico is convinced. Some on the island say there are still a lot of people who need help who aren't getting it. In fact, 20% of the island is still without running water. All right, other things people may be talking about today. Homeownership has gone up for the first time in more than a decade. The Wall Street Journal reports the homeownership rate in the U.S. hit 64.2% last year. That's up from 63.7% in 2016. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but experts say it's pretty significant, especially because that rate has not gone up in 13 years. But it also means the cost of a home is going up too, since, there's more demand. Toyota just announced a recall. USA Today reports about 645,000 cars around the world may have an electrical problem, and that problem could mean airbags don't inflate in a crash. Several Toyota models from 2015 and 2016 are included in this, but you can get it fixed at a Toyota dealership for free. And owners of the affected cars and SUVs can expect a letter in the mail in the coming months letting you know your car is affected by the recall. Amazon's new plan for Whole Foods is to sell stuff in the parking lot. Enter the Amazon Treasure Truck. It's been around for a while now. It's basically a pop-up store in a truck. Amazon will text the people who have signed up to get alerts about the deals from this treasure truck. But the new thing is that you can expect to see it in the Whole Foods parking lot. Remember, Amazon bought Whole Foods, so this is a new way to leverage that new business. Nowadays, the Super Bowl commercials tend to come out before the Super Bowl, which is Sunday, by the way. One of those commercials already making the rounds online is the one for Amazon Alexa. The smart speaker voice assistant. The premise? Alexa loses her voice. And then celebrities wear smart speaker type headsets and start replacing Alexa's voice with their own. So of course, everyone is guessing what this could actually mean. Are headphones coming, or will Alexa's voice actually change? Will celebrities get in on the voice assistant action? TBD. Get ready for a Super Mario Brothers movie. Reuters reports Nintendo is teaming up with the film studio for an animated Super Mario Bros. Film. But fans, you may have to wait. No word yet on the launch date. That's it for the main news today, but it is time for 3 Question Thursday. And this time, we're talking about money. In recent months, the Wall Street Journal reported that employees 18 to 36 years old, known as millennials, are much more likely to talk openly about how much money they're making, especially compared to baby boomers. A study found nearly half of all millennials say they talk about their salaries with friends and coworkers, compared to just 36% of Americans overall. So, why is this changing, and what's the impact of it? We're talking with salary negotiation coach Kathlyn Hart. She's a coach, speaker, and she has an online negotiation boot camp called Be Brave, Get Paid. So she knows what she's talking about. Let's get to it. Hello, Kathlyn. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Erica. It's such a pleasure.
Okay, so why are millennials so much more transparent when it comes to their income and their salaries?
Well, I think there's 2 main reasons they're like this. I think the first one is, a lot of us came out into the job force when there was a recession. And because there was a lack of jobs, lower pay, we were always looking for the best opportunity. And we started to have dialogue and conversations among our peers. What are you making? Is what I'm making, do you think that that's fair? Do you think I should ask for more? Do you think I'm going to lose my job if I ask for more? I think we started having a lot of those conversations with our friends just because we were at a point of almost desperation when many of us graduated from college. The second reason I think is that because we do have these amazing tools that are coming out. Glassdoor was not around when our parents were growing up. PayScale was not around. There's all these tools that we have along with Google to be able to research these things. And I think the power of those tools enables us to do it freely and, in confidentiality. So it's almost a matter of why not look it up and talk to others about what we're learning.
Will this lead to more formal policies because companies now know people are actually talking about what they're making?
Yeah, I think we're already seeing that across the board. We have Massachusetts that's moving a lot of initiatives forward, New York, San Francisco, now followed by the entire state of California. There are Iceland, is pushing for, equal pay across the board and making it completely illegal to pay women less than men for equal work. So I think that the veil is just starting to come off and people are starting to push for it.
I think about the jobs I've had, and I've had to sign contracts that actually say I won't talk about my salary. Are people still having to sign those contracts, and is that something people need to worry about?
Yeah, well, technically that is illegal for us to say that we can't talk to our coworkers. But the thing is that the fee the fee that a company will get is really just like a small slap on the wrist. And so many of them are willing to say, we'll pay that fee if an employee happens to sue us. Most of the time, an employee is not going to sue us. So they're using fear tactics in order to get us not to talk to each other about these things. The more that we can learn, though, that, this is not something that we shouldn't be barred from doing, that actually it's our right to be able to understand what we're making, what others around us are making for a similar position, then the more empowered we'll be to step up and take more control of not only our finances, but our career and our future.
So another topic we've talked about here on the Newsworthy is that California has a new law, and a few other states, I think, are doing this as well, that says companies cannot ask you about what you made for a salary in past jobs. How can that affect how we should be negotiating?
Just because states are doing it doesn't mean companies are adapting it quickly. In the same way, they might say, hey, you can't talk to coworkers about your pay, and that's illegal. There's nothing stopping them because it's hard to actually enforce all of these rules. But it does give the power back to the employee to be able to say, hey, I know that this is illegal and therefore I'm going to go around the question. The approach that you would do, whether you're in California or you are in Delaware where this law doesn't exist, is the same. You're going to want to just move the conversation away from past salary. And one way that you can do that is just by explaining, since this job is different in that my responsibilities will now include ... I don't think it's going to be a comparable compensation. What sort of range did you have in mind? And just put it back on them.
Good stuff. So where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, I'd love to have you over at kathlynhart.com. That's where you can find all my personal information. And if you're really looking to up your game and learn how to negotiate your salary, bebravegetpaid.com is where you can go, and I do a course that really takes you through it. I've had people earn as much as $25,000 more just through a single conversation.
And I've linked to Kathlyn Hart's website as well as some news articles on this topic in today's show notes. Of course, you can find all the links to all the stories we talked about today on thenewsworthy.com. From the homepage, just click episodes and then find today's date. Kathlyn Hart will also be joining me on Facebook Live next Tuesday, February 6th at noon Pacific time. She'll be answering your questions, so join us if you want to learn more at facebook.com/Erica Mandy. That's next Tuesday at noon, 3 p.m. Eastern. The Newsworthy is ready for you by 4 a.m. every weekday. So we'll talk again tomorrow. Have a great day.